Did you know that creating a book series instead of a single book can be really powerful? In fact, some of the most successful books are books in a series, children's books included. So it's definitely something we as children's authors want to know about so we can use it to our advantage as well. And in this video, I'll show you how. And this will be really important information even if you're currently planning on only writing one single book. Hi there, I'm Eevi, an award-winning children's author and ghostwriter over on eevijones.com and the creator of Children's Book University. I create videos specifically for children's authors, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my weekly videos. So many popular children's books are part of a series in pretty much every single age group, from simple board books, picture books, all the way to middle grade chapter books and graphic novels. Like these examples right here, whether that's the Little Blue Truck series for 1 to 3-year-olds, the Questionnaire series for 3 to 6-year-olds, the Magic Treehouse series for 5 to 8-year-olds, or the Dogman series for 6 to 9-year-olds. So if so many traditionally published books are part of a book series, there must be some advantages to that, right? So this video is meant to help us with 3 things. 1, if you have already played with the idea of perhaps starting a series, this video is meant to show you why you should or shouldn't absolutely do so. 2, if you already have a number of published books that are currently not part of a series, maybe this video provides you with some ideas on how they perhaps could or should be. And 3, if you already have a series, what else could you do to take full advantage of all our opportunities in terms of marketing and promoting? So we're going to look at the 4 biggest advantages to having a book series, when to set up a series, and how to set up a series, and we'll look at 3 of my ninja tips that will help us take our creative series to the next level. A quick side note here before jumping in, everything I'm sharing here is based on the way Amazon currently displays their series. This of course can change as Amazon likes moving things around every once in a while. But at the making of this video, that's what these different elements I'm going to share with you looked like and were arranged. So let's look at the different benefits of a book series. Creating a series has a number of really fantastic advantages, so I wanted to share just a few with you right here. Advantage number 1 is that by creating a book series, we are able to create a separate sales page specifically for the series over on Amazon. This series sales page is separate and in addition to our individual books sales page. This is really helpful because as a separate sales page, it also gets its own URL. So if we wish to share our entire series with someone instead of just one single book, we can share this series URL instead. This right here is an example of one of my own series called Life's Biggest Moments. This one isn't one of my children's book series per se. It's a series of mostly illustrated gift books for grown-ups, but the principle for children's books is exactly the same. The first element I really love on this separate series page is that the image shows multiple of our covers instead of just one. It also displays the name of our series and how many books are in this particular series. So in this case, the name of my series is Life's Biggest Moments, and it shows that there are currently 7 books in this series. We can also see the different available formats, so we can easily select a different format, whether that's an ebook, hardcover, or paperback. And we have a separate description specifically for our series as well that we as the author get to write up ourselves. And I'll show you how and where to do just that in just a moment as well. If the Kindle format is selected, the buyer can also see a buy all option to the right of all of this, which again is really great because it gives everyone the opportunity to add all the books in the series to their shopping cart quickly and easily with one single click. And below the series introduction, all the books that are part of the series are listed individually as well, along with each book's cover, a title description, the number of reviews, and a purchase button. Advantage number 2 of having a series is that Amazon automatically shares the other books that are part of our series on each of our books' regular individual sales page. This is fantastic because if someone is looking at one of our books, they can immediately see the other books that are part of that same series as well. So let's take a look. This right here is what it looks like on our book's regular sales page. So if I were to go to the regular sales page of my book Forever My Always, a book written as a graduation gift or going away or farewell gift for kids that are about to leave their nest and fly out into the world, this is what we would see. The name of the series Forever My Always is part of is Life's Biggest Moments. And that is displayed in parentheses right behind the book title. And below that, we are provided with a hyperlink that tells us again the series title and how many books are part of this series. And if we were to click that link, that's when we would get to that first screen I shared with you earlier. But even without us clicking that hyperlink, Amazon will show us a number of books that are part of the series right below this section. So if we were to scroll a bit further down on the sales page, this is what we would see right here, an entire row of our own books. The name of our series title to the left, along with a number of books that are part of our series to the right, all of which are clickable, of course. So if someone liked one of our previous books, or if someone feels that this particular book they are currently looking at isn't quite meeting their needs, then they are presented with a number of additional options of our own books. Now, something that many don't realize here is that having an entire row of our own books displayed right here is actually huge, because this is prime real estate on every sales page. And if this book weren't part of a series, I would essentially forego showcasing all these other books of mine. In fact, without being part of a series, Amazon would actually show or display a number of competing books by other authors right here instead, many of which are sponsored. Meaning, this spot right here below our book is so valuable that it is usually filled with a row of books that pay Amazon to be displayed right there. And I hope you realize how valuable this makes having our book in a series. I can't stress this enough. I've never heard anyone else share this before or talk about it like this before. So I really hope you see the value of this information, because this right here is essentially free advertising. Advantage 3 of having a series is that by creating a series, we as authors are essentially provided with yet another option to weave in keywords into our book's metadata. Now, if you've been watching my other videos or have read my how-to book or have booked one of my one-on-one feedback sessions before, you already know that I am a really big advocate of thinking about the marketing part of our book even before it is published. And part of that is to make sure that our title and subtitle of our book has keywords woven into them. Common keyword or key phrases that people are using when they are searching for a book like ours. And that's really important, because this really helps with our book's discoverability. I've made a whole separate video on just that, including how to find the best keywords for you and your own book. So I'll make sure to add the link to that separate video in the description below. Now, by adding a series title, we are essentially creating yet another opportunity to add yet another important keyword or key phrase to our book's metadata. So we are making our book even more searchable and findable. And the more we optimize our book, the better. That's how we're setting it up for success. And advantage 4 of having a series is that it can really help with our sales. And here's why. Every time we are launching a new book in our series, we are potentially bumping up the sales of the other books in that same series. That very much goes hand in hand with what I have shared under Advantage 2 earlier. Here the idea is that whenever we are launching a new book, whomever we are sharing our new book with inevitably gets to see the other books in the series as well, which then often causes interest in those previously published books, provided that those books in that series truly do relate to each other somehow, whether that's with the theme of the books or the characters in those books. For example, when I launched my book Sometimes It Rains, recognizing and honoring all my feelings and emotions, the sales of my book Ego, Sheep, and Knittery, Being Humble and Other Great Stuff, went up as well, without me having shared about this book at all. And I see this often in my other series as well, that whenever I launch a new book in a particular series, the sales of the other books in that series go up as well. So by promoting and driving traffic to one, we are essentially driving traffic to all our books in that series. So these are the 4 main advantages I really wanted to share with you. Now, wherever there are advantages, there oftentimes are disadvantages as well. But in this case, I couldn't think of any. A series is easy to set up. A series is absolutely free to set up. A series gets its own URL, and a series helps our books promote each other. So with virtually no disadvantages, let's look at when to set up a series and how to set up a series. There are essentially 2 different times we can set up a series for our book. 1, before our book is published, and 2, after our book has already been published. So we'll look at both. If we already know that we want our book to be part of a series, we will be able to set this up during the regular initial book setup over on KDP. The walkthrough is really quick and easy. So this is how you add your book to a series. During the uploading process, you will want to make sure that you're in the paperback details section right here. And then down here it says it has this series section. So all you will have to do is click on Add Series Details, and then go ahead and click on Create Series. And then you will want to make sure to click Main Content, because this book, our book that we're creating, is one of the primary titles in the series. So go ahead and click that. And because this is a new series, we will have to enter some series details. So you can click this button right here, go to Series Setup. And that will take us to a new page just for the series right here, where we can click and select the language. We add the series title, whether or not we want an order. I always select the ordered, so we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, but you can also select the unordered right here. Then the series image will always be automatically created, so you don't have to do anything here. And then you can go ahead right here and add a series description. That's optional, but I always add something here, and we have up to 4,000 characters to do so. And just like with a regular description of a book, we want to make sure that we don't just create a big chunk of text, but create nicely spaced paragraphs if you have a bit more to say about the description. Once you're done, you click the Submit Updates button right here, and the series will be automatically created. And the book you set it up for will have automatically been added to this series. If later on you want to add another book to that same series, you will go essentially through the same steps, but once you get to this screen right here where it gives you two options, the new series option and the existing series option, you will go ahead and click on Select Series. And this will provide you with a list of different series options that you have previously created, so that you can then select the one that you want to add your new book to. And that's it. If our book has already been published and we decide we want to make it part of a series, we can do so anytime. All we have to do is log into our KDP, find the book we want to create a series for on our bookshelf, click on the 3 dots next to any of the formats and select Edit Details. We usually only have to add one of our formats to a series. The other formats should then be automatically added as well. So if I go through the process for my ebook, then my paperback and hardcover should be automatically added as well. But just to make sure, go ahead and check the other formats anyway, just in case. The remaining process will then be exactly the same I just described. The reason why it's so easy to create a series for our book or add our book to an existing series, even though it had already been published, is that there are no additional requirements, meaning the title of our series doesn't even have to appear on the cover of our book. So if we were to decide to add our book to a series, we don't even have to go back into any of our files to add the series title to the cover, unless we want to, of course. If you do decide to display the series title on the cover of your book, it is usually displayed right above the actual title with an often much smaller font size. Now that we know why, when, and how to add our book to a series, let's look at my 3 main ninja tips when it comes to the use of a book series. Ninja tip number 1 is whenever and wherever we are sharing our book description, we will want to make sure that this description mentions that this book is part of a series. Whether that's in our description on Amazon, our description on our website, or a pitch to a media outlet. That way, people will know right away that there are more books no matter where they come across our book. Ideally, this would also include the blurb or description on the back of our cover. This right here is one of my own examples for my book Forever My Always, again in my Life's Biggest Moments series. Part of my description actually lists all the other books in this series with the little phrase like this: other books in this Life's Biggest Moments series. And that is then followed by the listing of the other books: Letting Go for the Soon-to-be Empty Nester, Sisterly for My Best Friend, and so on. If you need help with the writing of your own book description, make sure to watch my separate video on that. I'll make sure to add the link to it in the description below. Ninja tip number 2 is to make sure to mention your series in your book itself. This is also something I shared in my book, How to Self-Publish a Children's Book, where I suggest to add a page that shows the covers of any of your other books you may have already published and written. If a book is not part of a series, I simply add a few of my books that I think the reader of this particular book might be interested in. If a book is part of a series, I showcase the covers of the other books of that series on that page. This right here again is an example of my Life's Biggest Moments series, showcasing the covers of the other different books in this series. And my ninja tip number 3 is to make our series part of our A+ content on our sales page on Amazon, be it in the form of an enticing image with the different covers on it, or in the form of a table. If you don't know what I mean by the term A+ content, make sure you're watching my other video on just that. Now that we as independent authors can add this type of content to our book's sales page over on Amazon is such a game changer. So I'll make sure to add the link to this video in the description below. Again, using one of my own books as an example, this is the A+ content I have created for my book Precious, for new moms and moms-to-be, in my Life's Biggest Moments series, all of which is now displayed on this book's sales page on Amazon. First, I have some images of the inside of my book here up top, along with a picture of my cover, and a table with clickable links to some of the other books in this series. These images can be whatever we want them to be. This, for example, is a mock-up of a shelf that holds a number of my other books. You can simply use a free online software program like Canva.com to create these images from scratch, or you can also use my mock-up templates I have created, which is a package of different templates that make the creation of our A+ content really easy. I'll make sure to add a link to this mock-up template package for you below in the description as well. I really wish someone would have told me about the benefits of creating a book series, or even just adding my existing books that are similar in topic to a series. So I really hope this video was able to show you all the benefits to having a book series. It's something we don't have to decide right now. We can simply keep an open mind and leave our options open, because we can always add our book to a series later, even after we have published our book. It's something we can do with our third book or with our first, as long as we have the intention of writing more than one book eventually. I hope you found this video really helpful and that it has provided you with some thought-provoking ideas and options you perhaps have never considered before. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really encourages me to keep making free videos for you just like this one. Here's to your very own series. Bye!